Today's video is my 2017 NYX Face Wars entry. It is inspired by a face chart that I will have linked down below, and I turned it into this Avant Garde bird look, so I hope you guys enjoy. Before you get started, you want to make sure you have a clean and fresh base on so you can apply a bunch of fun and crazy makeup. So I'm going to begin by taking my NYX Total Control Drop Foundation in the shade Porcelain. I put 5 drops on the back of my hand so I could get full coverage, and I took a round top brush and applied this to my face using circular motions to prevent any harsh brush lines. And this is also going to make my foundation even more full coverage by using such a densely packed brush. Now I'm going to take my NYX Gotcha Covered Concealer in the shade Alabaster, and I'm going to apply this under my eyes. This is going to conceal all of my dark circles, and I'm using my fingers to apply a lot of product under there because my under eyes need a lot of help. Then I highlighted the rest of my face, like the bridge of my nose and everything, and use a damp sponge to blend it out to a flawless finish using dabbing motions. And then I applied translucent powder underneath my eyes along my nose and chin, and this is just going to really set everything and make sure it lasts. And then I started out by brushing through my brows to get the hairs in place and then underlining it to get the base shape. And then in the front of my brows, I use super quick feather-like strokes to look like brow hairs. And then I deeply fill in the back of my brows because I have no hair back there. And then I took my NYX Tinted Brow Mascara in the shade Blonde and used this to set everything. This is basically like hairspray for your brows. It's going to keep all of those hairs in place and make sure they are nice and tame. And then I went in with some concealer and I concealed around the edges, and this is just in case you made any mistakes. It just really cleans everything up and makes it look super nice and polished. And then I took a foundation powder and used that to dust off all of my bake. Using a foundation powder helps add a lot more coverage to your face. That's why I used it. Now I'm taking a NYX Hot Singles eyeshadow in the shade LOL, and I used a flat packing brush to apply this. A flat packing brush is going to make sure everything's really pigmented, and I'm putting this just outside the inner corner of my eyes because they're saving a fun color for the inner corner. And then I'm going in with a NYX Primal color in the shade Hot Pink, and I'm going to apply this right next to the orange. And when you're doing this, you're going to need to fade the colors. Fading is kind of complicated, but you can do it. Basically, you just have to swipe back and forth a million times and lightly pack the color over top the previous color, and it'll create a super nice blend. Just be patient, it takes time. Now I'm going to go in with the Electroshock Hot Single eyeshadow, and I'm going to use a packing brush at first to apply this in the back half. Since blue is super dark, it's really hard to get it to blend with pink, so you're going to need to take more time with this and be more patient. And to blend a darker color with a light one, apply just the tiniest bit of the darker color into the lighter one. It'll definitely help. Now I'm starting to blend out the edges of this color, and then I applied a little bit more onto my blending brush to add a little bit of the blue into the crease. And using windshield wiper motions is the best way to blend it out so you don't get harsh edges. Now I'm going to take a NYX Primal color in the shade Hot Green, and I'm going to begin to apply this into my crease. Again, you want to blend this into the blue. You want to make sure you can't see where the blue starts and stops, and then where the green starts into the blue. So you're going to go back and forth and keep going in with more blue and build up the intensity, and go in with more green and build up the intensity. It is definitely a process, but it is worth it. And then I started to blend this down into my lower lash line as well because I wanted some blue along there, as well as just using various blending brushes to blend. And then I took the pink shadow and applied it to my lower lash line, and took a blending brush with a bunch of pink shadow to help blend it into the blue, as well as create a thick blend of pink along my lower lash line. Went in with more blue to make the color more intense, and then a little bit more pink to help blend it into the blue as I added more blue. It's just kind of a process. You have to keep adding back and forth until you get the desired effect. Now I went in with the Hot Yellow NYX Primal color, and I'm applying this in my inner corner with a flat packing brush to add a lot of pigmentation. And I am just also blending this into the orange as well as the green and the pink on the lower lash line. So you have 3 areas you need to blend. So definitely be very careful. I went back in with a very tiny brush to help blend it into the orange and add more pigmentation. Now I went in with a NYX Vivid Brights liner in Vivid Halo. And I'm going to apply this in a C shape on my inner corner. So you do like a forward C and then a backward C. This is what I kind of imagined of being like kind of a beak line, but like more curved. And now I went in with a NYX White Liquid Liner in the shade White. So funny. And I'm going to apply a small dot of this in the inner corner of my little C shape, and that's just going to add more attention to the front of my eyes. And when you do this, be very careful because you can suddenly not have a dot anymore and it'll just be like a line. So definitely like pop it on and then move it back and just be very precise. I'm just adding random dots in places that I felt needed a little bit more attention just to make it a little bit more fun. So just use your creative eye with this. Just apply dots wherever you think it would look cool. That's basically what I did. And now I took my NYX Epic ink liner in the shade Black, and I'm going to use this to create feather-like shapes along my crease. So you wanted to start by making one diagonal slanted line and curve it out towards the end. And then from that point, you're going to connect another line and go it through your crease. You definitely want to make sure your hand is super steady for this. You can set it on a table. That'll really help make sure it's steady. And then you also want to just connect more and more of those curved lines until you get the desired effect. I went with 4 lines and added a really tiny one up in the top. And then I created little V shapes on my lower lash line. I kind of imagine these like being like little eyelashes. And then I added a few bit of more of those feather flicks. When you do that, you want to press hard and then flick out. And then I went on my lower half of my eye and I created that same shape that I did up at the top but down below, just a little smaller version to tie it together. Then I went in with my NYX Vivid Brights liner in Vivid Sapphire, and I'm going to use this to add more fun color to the look. So I went in and created more feather-like shapes. As I said before, you press hard and then you flick up, really short movements. And then I went in between the 2 V shapes and created long lines, and I did the same thing. I pressed hard and then I flicked down. And you don't want to go super slow because then it can drag and create these weird funky shapes, so definitely do what I suggested. And now I'm going to go back in with that white liner and just add a few more dots where I saw a lot of darkness. So around the black is where I added some dots just to add more attention to there, and it made it look a little bit more fun and less serious because nothing about this look was serious to me. And then I added a few bit of white lines down where I have all that blue and black because it was looking a little dark around there. Again, I was doing short little flicks of my brush. Now I went in with that blue single shadow and I created a bunch of flicks of blue shadow and I blended that into my yellow. Again, go back and forth and use a big fluffy blending brush with a bunch of upward strokes to blend it into your eyebrow. And now I'm going in with that yellow liquid liner and I'm creating a triangle of dots because I want it to be almost that tear effect that everyone has been doing on Instagram, but with dots, because I thought that was a fun thing to do and added a little bit more to the eyes. So I went in with blue and created more dots, as well as I went in with white because, you know, as I said before, it looks really dark, so you have to add some white, and white honestly makes everything pop. And then I went back in with more yellow, and then I went back in with that black liner and just intensified some of my black lines that got a little lost. Now I'm going in with these NYX Wicked Lashes in the style Vixen. I wanted super feathery lashes because this is bird inspired, so feathers, bird, it works out. Now I applied my lash glue and waited about 30 seconds for it to get tacky, and this is crucial because it will not stick if you don't let it get tacky. And then I start by placing the lash in the middle and then securing the outer corner and then the inner corner. And I hold onto the inner corner for a long time to make sure it's secure. And then you always want to take mascara and apply it to your top and bottom lashes because it will blend the fake lashes with the real ones. It'll really make them look like they're your lashes. Then I added a few more white dots on that blue area because, as I said, it was a little dark, so I wanted to lighten it up. Now I apply liner over my lash band, and that's just going to really conceal the fact that you have fake lashes on and cover up any lash glue. And then I went in with orange shadow and started to apply this to the first half of my brows because I wanted fun and colorful brows. And then we're going to go in with a pink shadow and then we're going to blend it in. These are the same shadows that I use on my eyes. And don't forget those back and forth motions to really blend those shades together. And then I went in with blue again. Definitely do a lot of back and forth motions to keep everything blended. Then I went in with that yellow liquid liner and started to brush this through my brows, almost like that brow mascara for a fun pop of color. And then I went back in with more blue to keep that fade nice and even. And then I took that yellow shadow and applied it as blush with a bunch of swirling motions. Right on top of that, I went in with that pink shadow, kind of creating it as a contour, and then it'll blend out to create a beautiful orange shade. And then you just use a lot of swirling motions to get everything blended. And then I took the white liner and created a nose highlight with it. It was super fun. And then taking actual highlight, I'm going in with the NYX Duochromatic highlighter in Twilight tint. And I'm going to apply this on the tops of my cheekbones because you want that extraterrestrial glow. And also along my nose as well. It's super pigmented and it also helps tie in the eyes to the rest of the face. Now I'm going in with a NYX Macaron Lippy in Blue Velvet, and I'm going to apply this on my lips. I'm going to start by dabbing it on. I don't want it to be super precise. I want it to be kind of that faded out lip, and I'm using my finger to just fade around the edges. So again, don't line your lips, just place it in the center. Then I'm going in with a NYX Macaron Lippy in Citron, and I'm going to apply this right into the center for a fun pop-up color and create a green effect. And then you can rub your lips together to blend it a tiny bit. Then I created some lip highlights just on where highlights would actually be on your lips if you had like a gloss. So just a few dots on the sides as well as on the bottom and upper lip. And that is it for the face. So if you want to stop here, you totally can, but I decided to tie the body in for a fun pop of color. I dampened a sponge and I went in with that pink shadow and started applying it along my shoulders as well as my neck. And dampening the sponge is going to create a watercolor effect and help all the colors blend together. So I went in with the yellow right on top and I started to just apply it in the same areas that my pink was applied, and it just creates this artistic effect that I was really living for. And I went in with the blue right on top. The blue is a little harder to blend, so you might have to go back and forth with your sponge a little bit to create it less subdued. And then I went in with the green as well right on top, using all the colors from the eyes except for orange because the pink and yellow kind of created orange. And then I went in with that highlight again and I highlighted the tops of my collarbones as well as just random areas like my shoulders just to add a little bit of fun glow. And now I went in with those liners again and just created a bunch of lines and dots along my body. You could cover your entire chest area with just dots. It'd be really fun, but I decided to just do small little concentrated areas to help tie it into the eyes. So I just went in with the blue, yellow, and white liners. And that is it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Even if I don't make it, I had a lot of fun making this look, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.